What Burns Brightest? Chapter 1. The Gator and the Sea. The morning sun cut through the blinds like a blade, slicing across Jasper Reid's face with clinical precision. He didn't move, not yet. The air in his shared apartment hung thick with yesterday's takeout and the faint metallic tang of Miami humidity creeping in through the cracked window. Somewhere down the hall, a toilet flushed. A neighbor laughed. Life moving forward without asking permission. He stared at the ceiling, counting the water stains like constellations. 3 days into the fall semester, and already he felt like a ghost haunting his own life. Journalism. That was the plan. Expose truth. Hold power accountable. Noble words carved into the margins of his notebook during high school, when he still believed stories could save people. Now, they sounded like slogans on a protest sign, loud, righteous, and ultimately powerless. His phone buzzed. A message from Ava. "Did you call the department about your work study? They need confirmation by noon." He didn't reply. He already knew what she'd say if he told her he wasn't sure he wanted it, that maybe none of it mattered. She'd give him that practiced smile, the one that didn't reach her eyes, and say something about resilience, about doing what had to be done. Like she knew anything about it. Jasper swung his legs over the edge of the bed, bare feet pressing into the cool linoleum. The mirror across the room showed a soft-featured young man with sleep-tangled hair and shadows beneath his eyes. Earnest, perhaps, but unremarkable. Just another scholarship kid trying to pass as belonging. He dressed mechanically. Jeans, faded band t-shirt, hoodie. No point in pretending he cared. He zipped his backpack, notebook, pen, the same one he used to scribble "Truth will out" in high school, back when he still believed ink could be a weapon, and stepped out into the sticky Miami morning. The hallway smelled of burnt popcorn and neglect, the linoleum peeling at the edges like sunburnt skin. Ava had offered to buy him a car, another peace offering wrapped in guilt and silence. He'd refused. Cars were freedom, and freedom was dangerous when you weren't sure where you'd end up. Instead, he took the 22 bus, the Gator, students called it, rattling and slow, painted in garish green and orange. It ran from the edge of Coral Gables up through campus, a lifeline for scholarship kids, late-night partiers, and those who, like Jasper, didn't want to owe anything to the people who raised them. He waited at the corner of Ponce and Douglas, the bench blistering under his thighs. A gecko darted across the pavement, disappearing into a crack. The air shimmered. Somewhere, a radio played reggaeton, tinny and distant. The bus was late, as always. He didn't mind. A horn blared. The Gator lumbered into view, belching diesel. It hissed to a stop, doors groaning open. A few students spilled out, laughing, already deep in conversation. Jasper stepped on, swiped his student pass, and took his usual seat, middle row near the window, far enough from everyone to be left alone. As the bus pulled away, the city shimmered under a merciless September sun. Salt water and sunscreen clung to the breeze, mingling with exhaust and blooming frangipani. His reflection ghosted in the glass, superimposed over the world. He studied it. The hollows over his eyes, the tension in his jaw. Who are you becoming? He wondered. He thought of the journalism department, of the work-study form Ava had left on his desk like a trap. Write for the student paper, interview the dean, play nice. As if truth could be packaged in a byline and a GPA. The bus turned onto University Drive, the campus gates looming ahead, columns of white stone, bougainvillea spilling like blood over brick. The campus sprawled ahead like a postcard under the September sun, the air thick with salt water and the ghosts of 10 years past. Students streamed across the quad, their laughter sharp and bright, so sure of where they were going. Jasper wasn't going anywhere. He was chasing shadows. Students moved in clusters, laughing, shouting, already forming tribes. Fraternity letters flapped on tank tops. Girls twirled around each other, arms linked, voices bright as broken glass. Jasper kept his head down, hands buried in his pockets. He wasn't shy, just observant, always watching, always looking for the thing beneath the surface. That was why he noticed her. She stood near the fountain at the quad's center, one hand absently tracing the edge of a bracelet, a delicate silver chain shaped like a trellis. Her dark hair fell over one shoulder, catching the light in ways that made it look almost red. She wore a loose linen shirt, sleeves rolled to the elbows, and there, just above her left wrist, a scar. Pale, jagged, raised flesh, old but never fully healed. It looked like fire had kissed her and decided to stay. Jasper slowed. She turned then, as if sensing his gaze, and for a heartbeat their eyes met. Hers were wide, gray-green like storm-lit sea glass, framed by lashes so dark they looked painted. There was something in them, an absence, a depth, that made his breath catch. Not sadness, not quite. Something older, something buried. And then she smiled, small, unthinking, as if she'd forgotten how. It hit him like a current. He didn't believe in love at first sight. He believed in patterns, in evidence, in cause and effect. But this was different. This was recognition. Like seeing a face from a dream you couldn't remember. She hummed as she walked away, a tune low and wordless, rising and falling like smoke. A melody he'd heard before, though he couldn't place it. Something from childhood, something lost. Jasper stood frozen, the noise of the campus fading into a dull roar. He didn't know her name, didn't know where she lived, what she studied, why she carried that scar like a secret. But he knew, with a certainty that frightened him, that she was important. And somewhere, deep in the marrow of memory, a voice whispered, "You've seen her before."